Well, good morning. It's Friday, December 6th. How's it going? 8:25 in the morning here in western Iowa, where it's much warmer than yesterday morning, but it's not warm. All right, let's talk about the hazards around the country. Still anticipating a freeze there in Florida and southern Georgia with freeze watches there. We have some winter weather advisories, central Pennsylvania, up into New York State. Winter storm warning, too, off the eastern Great Lakes. Way up there in the Arrowhead of Michigan, winter weather advisory. So be advised, there'll be some winter weather. It's a wind issue for Wyoming into Montana. What do we have here? High wind watches, wind advisories, that sort of thing. Some fog scattered around the west. So our hazards are also widely scattered. Current temperatures across the country. It's cold for the southeast. I don't know, you guys. Are you used to this in Atlanta at 24? Teens and 20s for northern Alabama. About that. 21 for Tupelo. At least it's not too below in Tupelo. Does that ever happen? Freezing temperatures all the way to the Gulf Coast. 30 in Shreveport, Louisiana. Yeah. Low to mid 20s through the Central Plains and even teens here in western Iowa. I think it's 16 this morning, which is cold. But that's warmer than yesterday morning's 7. Craziness. All right, and that cold air obviously has spilled to the southeast where the wind chills are even worse. You throw in the wind, it feels like 18 in Atlanta. Very nice. But the 24-hour temperature change, so it's cooler in the southeast as that cold air, that's where it went. Eastern Texas through the southeast into the mid-Atlantic. And it's warming up here, so, we're 15 degrees warmer or 10 degrees warmer than yesterday morning and still 16 degrees this morning. Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes. And even South Dakota, or North Dakota, even warmer than that from yesterday's temperatures in the morning. Surface for today, there's your scattered showers, Texas, New Mexico, into Arizona, and across Florida. See that cold front moving through central Florida, so some showers there. Still some snow for the Great Lakes, and some of that pretty heavy off of the eastern Great Lakes, and some rain and snow for the Pacific Northwest. Highs today warming up in the plains and the Midwest. A little milder for the Great Lakes, but still below freezing here, so still lake effect snows, especially eastern Great Lakes holding on to the cold a little more. Moderating a little in the southeast, but 40s and 50s is cold for y'all, and I understand that. 40s and 50s most of Texas too. And then you get into the west where it will be cooling off, but 40s and 50s for the Willamette Valley, kind of normal for this time of year. That's where I grew up, so I should know. You would think I would know anyway. Anomalous temperatures today. It is below average. Texas through the southeast, up into the Ohio Valley, up into the northeast, up the Mississippi Valley. Basically east, cold, west, warm. Low temperatures tomorrow morning. Not as cold here in Iowa, but below freezing. And those below freezing temperatures, again, all the way down into the southeast. South Carolina, widespread freezing temperatures. And, of course, colder as you head north. But the plains in the 40s, 30s and 40s to start the day tomorrow. We see 30s and 40s out west, too, and cooler, of course, with elevation. Surface tomorrow. Pacific Northwest storm making westward progress. Heavy snow, Cascades of Washington, maybe some freezing precipitation, Washington to Idaho. The panhandle of Idaho into northwest Montana, a little patch there around Moscow, Idaho, I guess. Scattered showers, New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and some rain in South Texas where that front is all the way through now in Florida. And some lingering snows for the Northeast and the Great Lakes. Highs tomorrow. Higher in the plains. We see 60s now, 50s here in Iowa, and some 50s hanging on in the southern plains. But, today's highs in the 40s, now 50s for the southeast tomorrow. So warming up. About the same for the west. Cold front coming. Anomalies so this is how that looks anomalously. Below average Texas and the east, but it's only slightly below now, and much above for the plains and the Midwest and the west. 48-hour precipitation. It's going to be rain in Texas, moving into Louisiana, Arkansas, and a little bit of southern New Mexico, far west Texas. That's mostly snow up there in the Great Lakes northeast. And it depends on elevation for the Pacific Northwest. Here's where it will fall as snow. So obviously rain along the coast, Oregon, Washington, snow in the Cascades. Inland, it's rain in the valleys of Idaho, snow in the numerous mountains, and kind of the same for northwestern Montana as well. And then you see the snow across the Great Lakes. Still some pretty heavy amounts there from Erie, Pennsylvania into parts of New York. Could see another 1.5 feet in the next 2 days. Craziness. Sunday, heavy rain, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, as that little system moves out of the Gulf. And rain all the way into the Great Lakes. So warming up and raining on top of all that snow. So you could see some freezing precipitation, Minnesota, North Dakota. There you see your Pacific Northwest storm with rain mixed with snow, lower elevations of Idaho. So it's getting a little cooler. You see that cold front all the way sinking into Nevada and central California. So colder air moving into the northwest. And it's a mixture for the northeast. With all that rain in the southeast, slightly below average on Sunday, but everyone else kind of above average, especially the central and northern plains into the Midwest. Those highs here in Iowa look in the 50s, so downright pleasant. That's t-shirt weather this time of year. 60s for the plains, central plains, southern plains, and 40s and 30s for the west and the northeast. Let's check out the GFS model real quick and see what's going on. Starting out this morning, still some light lake effect snow. Otherwise kind of quiet, a little bit of rain down there in South Texas as we go through the day. We see a little bit of snow coming off of the Great Lakes. This gets us to midnight tonight. As we get into Saturday, we see a system moving across the Great Lakes. So bringing snow and enhancing the lake effect snow. Some rain here in Texas and our Pacific Northwest storm starting out warm with high snow levels and heavy rain. This is Saturday noon central and then afternoon. So lots of heavy rain for the Pacific Northwest. We see our system here mainly in Canada, but some snow for the northeast. And then here comes the rain for Louisiana, into Mississippi, into Arkansas, into Alabama, and eventually Tennessee. And this gets us into Sunday. Turning colder. You can see the cold front here. Turning colder in the northwest. So will that bring some snow down into the lower elevations of Idaho? Well, it could. And so as we go through Sunday night, this heavy rainfall in the southeast continues. And as we get into, this would be Sunday midnight. No, this is Monday morning, Monday 6 a.m. Another system for the Great Lakes with some snow. And then this rain moving northward. It's mostly on the light to moderate side. And then our cold front and colder air moving south now into the central Rockies, as we've been talking about. How far south will this snow go? Will it make it to Lubbock, Texas? Or Tatum, New Mexico? Go Coyotes. Scattered storms across the southeast. This is Tuesday morning. And that snow fizzles out in the Texas Panhandle, but cold air sinks into Texas. And we're starting to see a little bit of light snow now into the Midwest. And so we have heavy rain picking up in the southeast and snow on the backside. Michigan snow, Ohio rain. Northwest Ohio snow, the rest of Ohio rain. You get the idea. And heavy rain too as this really gets going. This cold air moving all the way down into Texas. Snow on the backside of the system ahead of it with the cold front. Some showers and storms, heavy at times, getting into Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon. And that's kind of our biggest player, the heavy rain for the east. And some of that heavy rain falling on snow. Will there be flooding problems? I hope not. But something to watch as we get into Thursday. Snow on the backside, still heavy rains along the coast. And then as it exits, a little bit of snow for the northeast. And there's colder temperatures in the Midwest during that, but then it's going to warm back up. So not this weekend. Well, it is warming up this weekend, and it's warming up next weekend as well in the plains. Although the northern plains hanging on to that colder air as we get into Friday the 13th. Dun, dun, dun. With our very powerful low for the Pacific Northwest. If you're superstitious. I don't know why you would be. All right, let's check out those high temperatures for the rest of the week and see those temperature trends. So this is Monday, right after a warm weekend here in the Midwest. It's going to still be warm on Monday, slightly cooler. Very warm in Texas and the South. And that cold air being pushed out of even the northern plains and the Northeast. Tuesday, it comes back in the northern plains as that cold front, the cold air sinks back in, turning colder also for the Rockies. And then you see that cold air sinking in to the Midwest. We're back below freezing here in Iowa on Wednesday. Quite warm across the Southeast. A lot of 60s and 70s here. 50s now for Texas as that colder air sinks further south. Thursday, though, a rebound on the plains, so 60s, southern and central plains, back above freezing here in Iowa, back below freezing for parts of the Great Lakes. Then everybody moderates. We get more of a zonal flow, just kind of evens out our temperatures from coast to coast. So warmer for the plains and the south and the southern areas. Well, I don't know, southeast 50s, so still kind of cool. But 50s here in Iowa too. All right, then Saturday warming up in the plains and the southeast, and then Sunday. This is Sunday the 11th. Is that right? No, the 15th. I'm sorry, Sunday the 15th. Warm, a lot of places, a little cooler in the west. And that's kind of what we're seeing in our 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. December 13 through 19, warm for most of the country, but back near average for the northern plains back to the west coast. And precipitation-wise, quite a lot. A lot of places with above average chances of above average precipitation, except for you, southeast and east coast. All right, that is a quick look at our forecast, not only through this weekend, but next weekend too. And here in the Midwest, both weekends look very warm. So enjoy, and we will update you again tomorrow. Have a great day. Thanks for watching The Weather Mike.